Hello friends and welcome back. I'm Anna Dalman. It is Sunday, September 14, my day 119 of note writing. And my little note for today is what a week we've all had, right? Irrespective of where you are in the world, I believe that in the world of the internet, the world of social media, if you're an ocean and a landmass away from me and me from you, we are still in each other's backyards, at each other's kitchen table, even this format, wherever you are and watching this, I'm there with you. My voice is there, my presence is there, and likewise, I hope I'm encouraging some with what I share, because that's the intent of my note writing. And every Sunday I look back at the week and the notes I wrote, and it amazes me how in the providence of God some things I was working through overlapped with the responses of so many around the world. So what a week we've had, friends, right? On Monday, day number 113 for me, new week, new choices, and I realized that I needed to consider my options. What are those things I opt for, one or another, or do I have a few things before me? Are they solutions? Which is the solution? Have I analyzed correctly and applied wisdom? Do I prefer one thing above the other? What is my responsible path of action in the options I have? Am I considering everything well? And then part of the options, the choices, where we have those things we wish for and hope for in life, and prayer, some would consider part of that. However, prayer and hope, when hope is focused on what God would direct us to understand about hope, is very different to hope without Him and the presence of God in our lives. It's two different things. He feeds our hope with His eternal values and His promises here in time, and it is good to know the difference. So day 114 was hope. What you wait for. Is it something you wait for? Why? What are those thoughts that condition your understanding of hope? And what are the biblical values behind what you consider hope? And without examining that, you are left with an alternative of no hope, which is desperation, despair, despondency. Some go into depression, they give up, and they stop living, and they suspend the way they function in life. Day number 115 was know your soul. Do you rationalize your emotions, your feelings, your conscience, and your guilt? And when you do that and you hide from those things, and you're not exposing the truth of facts to them, what are you hiding from and why? What is your soul yearning for by you not having peace in those areas? Day 116, now this was a few days that I took to work through all of it, was grief and or sadness. I had written this out late in the evening before I went to bed, and the next morning I woke up at 4 a.m. And on the news I learned of an assassination, a political assassination, and how ugly was that. So what I had been reviewing for my own understanding of grief and sadness for a book project I'm working on became deeper and wider. So grief and sadness are the opposite ends of the coin, and we needed to work through that to fully understand it, and that our grief can be vertical, is vertical depending on our worldview and the foundation on which our worldview is built, and horizontal, which is the breadth of it. I propose that when that thing, people, place, a thing that we're grieving over is in line with that which would grieve God, our grief is then worshipful, because we're acknowledging with God an agreement with Him that something was evil and wicked. It then is an emotional, the breadth of our grief is how it affects our day-to-day living. Each one of us has a different way of expressing grief, of dealing with grief. I'm one of those people that goes quiet. I need my solitude. I need my peace to work through it. to keep God at the center of it and know He is sovereign and providential in all things in life. I'm usually the one, if I'm in a group of people and something dramatic happens and everybody's kind of struggling with grief, I'm the one who brings the peace and the calm and the understanding and the rationalizing through it. So day 117 is a word picture of grief. Now, as much as I can be the calm, quiet, peaceful person and bringing serenity to a room if there is grief in it, that's my word picture of what grief looks like in my experience, in my psyche. It's not the same for everyone, friends. And we need to understand that. Some people are cut so deeply, are wounded so intensely that their hearts, their soul are left gaping and bleeding. How do you respond to somebody who's bowled over by an event in their life? I propose that we offer the following to them. We listen, we listen, we listen. I repeated that a few times and ended up we continue to listen. All they sometimes need is someone to be there. And then through that, with that, we love them, we love them, and we love them. Now, the way you may show your caring and compassion and love to someone is different depending on their need. You may need to wash their dishes, vacuum their floor, do some laundry. And while you're doing all of those things, you listen, and you listen. And you carry them until they are able to grasp the reality and how to live in that reality and move forward in it until they are able to bring their grief into line with the worship and their response be one that glorifies and honors God. It's in His time for them to come to that understanding and for them to reach it and grow it, not yours. And then day number 118, my focus was on an unsettled soul, a response to the confusion and the world when life and the unfathomable happens to those events. We need to speak to ourselves, talk to ourselves, and listen to what we're instructing ourselves. Not just let our emotions run rampant and our emotions tell us what needs to happen. We need to talk to our psyche, remind our psyche of what is true about life. We need to give ourselves direction. We need to give ourselves purpose and hope. We need to understand true hope and what that looks like, and in that, plan for our stability, order our days, which goes back to the direction and the purpose which we are looking for to live through. Now, friends, all of that is easier said than done for many people. Many people grapple with this for a long time. I know of a woman many years ago who 10 years after her husband passed away, she was still struggling deeply with it. Her grief was as though it happened the week before. When I knew her, and she has since passed away many, many years ago, most probably like 15 years ago she passed away. She was an older lady. The reason she struggled so intensely with her grief is because she hadn't been, in my understanding, the way I looked at her life, had multiple marriages and hadn't been very compassionate and gracious to her husband. She didn't understand his situation. And once he had passed away and she stood it, she couldn't forgive herself for the harsh way she had treated him in his last few months on earth. And he had been so loving and gracious to her. He adored her. It was his first marriage. He left his home, his possessions, everything to her. And that was the war that she went through. She wasn't able to understand that somebody she had treated so harshly had loved her so deeply in his declining health, where it should have been the other way around. So, friends, we need to examine our purpose, our function, and our own sentiments in the horizontal relationships based on our vertical understanding of how we are to function in life so that we may be fair to those people in their bad, negative health and have compassion. Sometimes it means bite your tongue and keep quiet. So, friends, tomorrow's a new week. There will be an overflowing in your neighborhood as well as mine, and the internet makes us makes our fence back up to each other. We need to exercise compassion. Others may have different political opinions, but still agree that events should never have occurred, that is the wrong. Allow the horizontal to go as long as you're focused on the vertical together and you know what is right or wrong before God. The following week and the time ahead will be peaceful, gracious, kind, and honoring of one another. So until tomorrow, a new week, a new day, a new beginning. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye for now.